Hey guys, welcome back to our Texas Homestead. Today we're going to do some bacon. Do a little something different. I went and bought some Backwood's bacon cure. This is their cracked pepper version. This bag dry will do 25 pounds of meat. If you do it as a wet, it only does 20. So I'm doing approximately 11 pounds, almost 11 pounds. I've got it. I'm just going to do a 10-pound version of it. So weigh the bag as is, cut it in half, take the pink curing salt, cut it in half to get your measurements, all the ingredients and how to do it. Not all the ingredients are on here too, but all the directions on how to do it are here on the back. If you're doing a full 20 pounds wet, you can use the whole bag plus the whole thing of cure. I'm doing halves. So what they want you to do is the entire pouch mixed in a half a gallon of water and then the pouch of curing salt, or the pink salt. So I'm doing half of that, so I'm using 4 cups of water, half the bag of seasoning, which looks good, smells good, and then half of the amount of the salt. So what you want to do is get a mixing bowl, pour your ingredients in, and then pour your salt in. Don't add water yet. Mix it up. You want it all uniform, and it doesn't take but just a second. Okay, nice. Now add your water. Now set that all to the side for a little bit, and let's get the meat ready. Okay, so I'll bring you down. Let's just take a look, see what I'm doing. I have a pork belly here. It was 11 pounds. It was $38. And basically, before I do that, sharpen your knife. Folks, sharpen them every time. And all you're trying to do is get little burrs off of it from where you hit stuff when you're cutting. And just make sure your knife is ready to be used. Okay? Now, I'm going to go over to my sink. Pull the bag off. Okay. Grab a couple paper towels. Wipe it down a little bit. And then we're going to trim this up just a hair. Not much. I like having the fat back on it. But what I don't want is this little piece here. This little silver skin. Try to get it off as much as possible. If you can get it and grab a hold of it, it's just kind of like ribs. You want to pull it off, and sometimes it just don't want to come off. And if you can keep the meat at the cooler the meat is, and I won't say frozen, but if you can keep it kind of cool, these little pieces right here are a whole lot easier to get off. But trim whatever you want. If you don't want a big fat back on the back of it, trim it. Just remember, bacon's fatty for a reason. It's for flavor. Now, if you wanted to come in here and trim this out, when you do it, you don't want to take a lot. You just want the top layer off, because you need this fat when you're cooking to give it all that great flavor. And if you have a thick spot on it you want to cut out, cut it. Your choice. Save the fats. Save these. Freeze them. Because whenever you are grounding up your hamburger meat, pork fat is the best fat for hamburger. You can add that in, so that way you've got some more flavor in your meat, and it also gives you a little extra fat content. Don't get me wrong, I'm not taking a lot. I'm just looking for super thick spots And I wasn't even going to do this, but just for you guys, I'm going to take some of it. See, this is right here is actually kind of big. If you get a little meat on it, me personally, I try to take it out for when I'm using it for my fat content. I'll do that later when I got some room. All right, now take your pork bellies, figure half. If you have to, lay your knife out. Bam, right on it, right at half. Don't try to cut deep when you're cutting. You'll dull your knife. That's why a lot of times you'll see I have a little left over. Now, what you want to do is get your mix, get it ready. What you want to do is whisk it up, and then I take one glove off. You want to try to dissolve all of this. As much as it can be dissolved. There's going to be a lot of it that won't. But you're not going to have a big thick cake bottom in your water that won't dissolve. Okay? It's going to be nice and movable. I've already got some bags ready. I use my bags that I would freeze dry stuff or freeze stuff in. Go ahead and get your meat in there. Unfortunately, we used our bigger bags on some hamburger meat. Patty was helping me out after I ground up 60 pounds of it to package it up, and she accidentally used my big bags that I keep for my pork bellies. So, fold it up if you need to get it in, and after you get it in, open it up. Now, you don't have to have a lot of bag left over to seal off because you're not vacuum sealing it, okay? You're not using any vacuum at all. My machine will automatically pull a vacuum, but it's not needed, okay? So take half your mix, and if you need to, so I've got almost 58 fluid ounces, including the pot. Your pot's not going to change. So you know you cut these down in about halves. So and if you need to, stir it a little bit. This is always your fun part when you're by yourself. Just pouring this in. Now at the bottom, you've got a lot of the mix that didn't dissolve. I try to split that up between both. So that way I'm getting some extra pepper and extra seasoning on my meat. Okay? Spin you over a little bit. And turn my machine on. Just remember, don't lay this over. You just want to, because you'll pour all this fluid in there and you can tear your machine up by doing that. Okay, now come in here and just hit seal. You can see mine pulls a little bit of vacuum. And that's it. Check your seal, make sure everything's good. Make sure you don't have any kernels or anything sitting in between it. I like to try to double seal my bags. And I do it past the first seal. I do it behind it, so that way I know I've got it in case there's any liquid or anything in that first part. Okay, you can see it did just fine. Actually, there was a little leak. I had a kernel right there. I noticed it, but. And if you need to, go in and reseal again. It ain't gonna hurt it. You just don't want to take a chance of losing everything while it's out there. And if you get the bag rolled over like that, you will not get a seal, okay? You notice that's my struggle right now, is I let the bag roll. So I'm going to have to reseal this corner to stop that from being open. Now I have the luxury, I can turn my seal time up on this machine to try to get through those multiple layers of that bag. You just double check it, and you can see it stopped it. All right, let's do this one. Trying to show y'all is what's killing me on my seals. Because being able to sit here and actually lay it out properly, because my machine's turned, I don't have a flat surface anymore. So take my first seal a little deep, turn it back down to normal. And it pulled up a little bit of fluid, so we'll have to check the seals. It pulled some fluid in. I can feel it did not seal because of that, because I've got it turned down. All right. It's the luxury of trying to do this all on video, folks. I'm trying to stop the fluid from going up. Could have used a little bit bigger bag. Would have helped. And I may have to switch it to a bigger bag because of that. So, that one I'll swap out for a new bag, which this is the meat vacuum sealer. Got this little tray up here. Go ahead and double seal my bottom. The only thing I hate about this machine, other than that, it's been great, is you can't turn the beep off. You can turn that beeping off. Amazing machine. Now I'm going to take this over to my sink so I can swap my bag. I'm going to pour my liquid in first. So I don't lose it all during the transfer. See, these are real things that can come up while you're doing this kind of stuff. So I'm glad it's happening to me so I can show you how to correct it. All right. Now I got most of my juice out of my bag last time when I poured it, but there is still some that I want. Maybe. All right. Now, let's reseal this bag. Try to get a proper seal on it. See, now I've got a long enough bag, I can sit here and lay it in here and seal. First seal, pull back. Second seal. The reason I double seal these, main reason is because one, these are going to set in these bags for 7 days. Okay? 7 days these are going to set in there, and you have to flip them every day. Okay? So every day you want to walk in, grab your bag, flip it over, flip the other one over. And then after 7 days, we'll get this on the smoker and I'll bring you back then. So hope this part helped y'all out. And if you do run into an issue, how to fix it. We'll see you back here next time. I'm gonna wash my hands before I grab my camera. Don't know why. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are a week out from our bacons. All right, so we've rotated this every day for a week. So what we do now is bring it down a little bit. Cut it open and just drop it. What you want to do is take it, drain it. And this is going to sound weird, but yes, you're going to wash it off in cold water. Okay? And you're not going to get like everything off. All you're doing is rinsing it. You don't want to get everything off. Okay. Rinse it, sit it on a raised rack so that way it can drain and drip dry. And what you want to do, you want to bring these back up to room temperature before you get ready to cook it. Okay. If you've got little edges like this and you want to trim them before you cook it, you can. But you also got to think this is going to shrink up. So I would leave it. So we'll get the other one out. So I have two. And get them dried off. Get them in a pan and get them ready to come back to room temperature so we can put them on the smoker. So we'll see you back here in a little while. All right, we're back. Got everything up to temperature. Got our pit down to as low as it'll go. This is a pit boss, so it's going to get 200. You prefer to do these at 165, 175, and you cook them until they get to, you smoke them until they get to 150. So, got everything washed and ready to go. All you do is put them on. Don't put them, if you know you got a hot spot on your grill, don't put it on the hot spot because you want them to go slow. Pretty simple. Okay. If you want to use a thermometer to put into them, like a Weber iGrill or whatever you have, you know, there's all different kinds of thermometers you can run into them the whole time. But if you want to add water and pellets, water and wood into it so you can smoke it, this grill actually has a smoke setting, so it will actually do its own thing. So pretty easy. As I said, all you're trying to do is get internal temp to 150, and we'll bring you back towards the end when it's ready to go, and then we'll get ready to start slicing. All right, guys. One more thing: when you're using your thermometer on your meat, this is a thermopen. If you want one, these are supposed. To me, this is one of the best ones out there. But when you're checking your temperatures, don't check it here. That's your fat. Your fat's going to get hot. Always come in and check it in the middle. Okay. So over here, we're in the 135-ish range. And on the other side, we're at a 150 range. So if you know you've got a hot spot, take your meat and turn it. I've already pulled one off. I'll show you what to do with it as soon as you get it off here in a little bit. And we'll get these ready to slice up. Okay, got everything up to temperature on it. Now your sheet, your pans that you used originally to let them dry and everything, after you've cleaned them, bring them back out. Get your pork belly, or bacon now, almost. Put it on the sheet. Let it rest for 15-20 minutes. Just setting out, okay, on the counter, wherever, away from any animals that will take it away from you. And then chill it. You want to get it cold so that way you can slice it, okay? And it doesn't have to be like, you don't want it frozen or anything, but you want it refrigerator temperature, okay? Pretty simple, but got some nice bacon going on here. Some of this fat, if you want to trim it now, you can trim it. Now that everything's cooked down as far as it's going to cook, and you're ready to go. So we'll bring you back when we're ready to slice. All right, guys, we're back. Got it chilled a little bit. The reason I didn't chill this particular one as far as I wanted to is because it's dinner tonight. So we're doing some BLTs, but I'll bring you down and show you how I get it ready to put it on my slicer and show you how to do it. Sorry, Patty's holding the camera this time. I didn't want to reset up my tripod. Kind of want to square it off. Don't throw this away, of course, because it's still good. This side's a little long. Not too bad. But you can see it's nice. It looks good. It's got a lot of pepper on it. Now, my slicer's rated for this length, but it doesn't seem to like cutting it this well. So I'm actually going to cut it in half, and then we'll go over to the slicer. So I'll see you over there in just a minute. You can't. All right. I did buy a slicer a while back. It's been great to have, especially when cutting bacon. But basically, put it in. Check it out. Make sure it's the thickness that you want. As long as that's good. These aren't as long as I usually like, but The next one I do, I'll cut it a little different. I got a meat pile up. Smells super good though. This is nice, really good looking bacon. I mean, it's better than what you typically find in the store, in my opinion anyway. Everything in the store always seems like it's really thin and just has tons of fat through it with no meat. And if something happens, you have a slicer at home, or you want to figure it out, the size I put it on right now is 4.5. I've done them at 6, and 6 is too thick for some people. But 6 is good, I think, also, just because, especially for like BLTs, it's a nice thick cut of meat. Getting right to the end of it, and when you get to the end, it will kick it around. So turn your blade off, make sure it stops, and that's what I was left with. Of course, a little piece there, but folks, that's it. Now you gotta do is fry it up, and if you want, I'll show you that here in a little while. So we'll see you back again when we fry this up for dinner tonight. Okay, we're back. I took the whole piece, the other half that I cut this much off of it. And now I can do a nice longer slice if you want it. So. And the reason I put parchment paper out there, it will actually kick meat out that way. So highly recommend that you set up your workstation correctly. If not, the wife gets mad, especially when you're doing it at the dinner table. But it's really the only spot we've got right now that's big enough to do this. Oh, that's just got bacon fat on it. And if you do it when it's a little more chilled, it won't be as wet. It'll just go right through the machine. The only downfall of one of these machines, in my opinion, is cleaning it. But when you're doing 10, 11 pounds or more of bacon, it makes it so much easier to work with. I'm getting down to the end of it. Go ahead and shut it off. And this one's going to get trapped. But see, that's all I was left with, is basically the outer rind where it was smoked. And don't get me wrong, this piece right here is super good. You fry this up, great. Now the little piece that I cut off, put it on. No need to waste it, it's still good bacon. And that's it, and I've still got a whole, this was only half of that pork belly. That 11-pound pork belly, this was only half. So salt deal. But that's quite a bit of bacon just for basically 5 pounds or less, because you know, during the smoking process you're going to lose some of it. But here's what the machine looks like. You can see the fat and everything it got on it from using it, because it was warmer. You usually don't get this much when you chill it all the way down. Typically I do the bacon completely cold. I mean, it's just completely cold when I do it. So whatever your refrigerator temperature is, if it's 32 degrees, that's exactly what that meat is when I actually throw it on the machine. So we'll get this fried up for you and we'll show you a few pieces before we eat it. And there you go. Still got this on the drain side just so I can hold it for for while I'm cooking it. Got this over here. How do you like your bacon? Do you like it crispy, or do you like it with a little flimsy to it? Me personally, I like flimsy. Flimsy's more my gig. It's hot, but it's really good. I haven't found too many pieces of bacon that I just didn't like, except for maybe Waffle House. Love Waffle House's food, but man, they can overcook some bacon. Hope you enjoyed the little quick recipe. The Lim products, pretty good. I do have a maple one I'm going to try here soon, so we may do a video on that. Even crispy, it's got some good flavor. But be sure you like, subscribe, and share. It isn't hard to do. I've got about $45 invested into 11 pounds of bacon. And I looked today, it was like $7.99 a pound, I think. So I think I came out ahead. So we'll see you back next time on Our Texas Homestead, and catch you soon.